Hey there YouTube, I'm Ikitsu, this is the Ikitsu Times, welcome to my channel, welcome to a little bit of Endless Space 2. So I haven't played this game in a while because, well I have played it, but I wasn't recording it for a while because I couldn't run it on my previous computer, and now I can run it again. So in any event, we're going to be doing a guide on the Vaulters, and this is a faction that is very similar in many respects to the Sophons in that you're going to be going for a hard science victory, but unlike the Sophons who sort of just really take away on science, Vultures are actually a lot worse at science than the Sophons are. Sophons are much, much better at it. What the Vultures are good at, however, is that they're much, much more reliable once they've gotten established. They are very RNG dependent on their start, which is a little bit weird. And then once they've sort of gotten into a decent enough position, they're actually really, really hard to kill. They're very good at defending themselves. So they're able to go for that science victory much more slowly than someone like the Sophons who can just really take it away, but they're much better at defending themselves so that they don't have to worry as much about other people interrupting their sort of science victory as much as someone like the Vultures would have to. Anyway, we've got the same sort of setup that we normally have here. We've got just sort of whatever the hell, but in any event, we have switched up the competitors just a little bit. And the reason I've done this is that if you've got all fast settling AIs, you're going to really suffer in a game as the Vultures. There are ways to compensate for fast settling AI, but it becomes much, much more likely that you're going to have trouble here. So what we've got here is the Hisho, Umbral Choir, Vodiani, and the Unfallen, who are all fairly slow, or really slow in the case of like the Unfallen and the Vodiani, at colonizing, and sometimes the Hisho even. The Riftborn, Horatio, and Cravers all colonize quite quickly, and if we get stuck beside the Cravers, we're probably screwed. But I have won this pretty easily as the Riftborn and next to the Riftborn and Horatio before. The thing about this is if you're playing on endless difficulty, I wouldn't recommend using this faction if you're surrounded entirely by fast colonizers. The reason being that those fast colonizers could very easily pen you in and prevent you from getting more than a couple colonies, because these guys are very slow at colonizing and there aren't very many tricks to getting faster colonies. So I've actually got a couple different starts here, and we're going to take a look at those rather than starting the game normally here. These are set to that same sort of difficulty there, and we're going to take a look at a bad start first here. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of these. Now, if you're playing against real people, the Vultures are also perfectly viable under normal circumstances, even if they've got fairly fast colonizing factions, because human players can't colonize as fast as the endless AI difficulty. The AI has to cheat substantially on endless difficulty because the AI is not very intelligent, but it has got tremendous economic bonuses that sort of actually don't really help it all that much later on in the game. So anyhow, this is a bad start. Now, what's specific about the start for these guys? Well, as you'll notice, we start off at Leda 75012, and you always start off there as the Vultures. Or the sort of like dust anomaly here, rejuvenation field. The interesting thing about this thing is that it's pretty useless, actually. That's sort of what's consistent about it. Now, to start as the Vultures against the endless AI, because again, it's about the speed and difficulty at which you're going to get those initial colonies out, you really, really have to have a planet system nearby that has got both titanium and Hyperion. It doesn't have to be on the same planet, but it does have to be in the same system. In this particular case, all we have is Hyperion. I've actually looked at the other planets, and there are no likely sources of titanium and Hyperion in the same system. So you can sometimes get away with just having the Hyperium, and then you can also look at other planets and collect a little bit of titanium that way, and then colonize the planet that gave you the bit of titanium. That is something you can do. The other thing you can do is you can go up to your hero here, and you can go ahead and give them the Resource Scrounger ability, which gives you the ability to colonize a little bit. Again, you need to have titanium and Hyperium to grow your colonies. Otherwise, you're going to have to be waiting about 20 turns between colonies, which is pretty bad on this difficulty. Now, this is a start that I'd be perfectly happy taking against real people. It's got some good options here in terms of planets that I can colonize. It's got some decent systems that I'm aware of, and I would not necessarily have a terrible time colonizing in this particular game against regular people. But against the AI, especially if this one happens to be near the Cravers or something like that, they're going to colonize like probably all of these systems before I can even get my second colony down. So let's go ahead and take a look at a better one. And we're going to be playing on the great one just because, like, if you're up against the computer, you might as well go for a good start there, or a really good start here. All right, let's see what we got here. And here we go. And yeah, so it's the same, it's the rejuvenation field. It's called something different. It randomizes the name every time. All right, so this is why this one's fine. This one has got titanium and hyperium, and it's actually all on the same planet. It's a medium Terran planet. It's a pretty nice one to inhabit there. This would be perfectly viable. The boreal worlds are not necessarily that great, but the Terran world is. Over here, we've got another little friendly group of Sisters of Mercy who we can talk to or whatever the hell. And down here is another planet that we can colonize. This doesn't have great colonization options, especially because Farver is like 1 trillion miles away and these guys are taking up one of these systems here. And this is actually a pretty good system that they're taking up here. 4 planets, that's always decent. Monsoon, Boreal. This isn't the worst system either, but they are. We can just also take over from them anyway. But yeah, this is a pretty decent start, and I'd be perfectly happy playing this against the endless difficulty AI. What I would really like to have, though, in this particular case, is an anomaly or a likelihood of an anomaly on Gaikon 2. The reason that you want that is, again, because you're a hero. You can turn them into a scout during the early game, but I would much rather get the plus 10 production per anomalies on colonized planet and system. This is a pretty powerful bonus, and it's going to be something that you would want to have in the early game to sort of kickstart everything even a little bit faster, because like another 10 production can help quite a bit. All right, and let's take a quick look at our great start here. So this is going to be one of those sorts of situations where I do know the map a little bit here ahead of time, just because, of course, I checked to make sure that we're not like right beside the Cravers, but I don't know much else other than that. So anyway, here we are. It's a 5 planetary start here, and it's a huge ocean world and an atmospheric curiosity. The reason that atmospheric curiosity makes this great is because atmospherics are almost always anomalies. There are sometimes other things, although you can save scum that. We are also near Jade Onyx, which is pretty good, but we aren't going to be worried about Jade Onyx, and I'll show you why that is in a second here. So we're definitely going to take Mira. Now, there's some different ways that you can colonize with this faction. If we take a look here, there's this thing called a Golden Age duration here, and this tracks up all the way up to 15. The longer you take to colonize, the higher up your Golden Age duration is going to be. The reason that you would want to colonize really quickly is because you want to get those bonuses working for you faster, and having your colony set up for a turn is worth more, in my opinion, than having the plus 25 to all of the stuff down here. And this is a lot of big bonuses that you are getting for colonizing later from your Golden Age, but it's just much, much stronger to have your colony out a little bit faster if you can. If you can't, it's perfectly reasonable to sort of slow down and let it do other things instead. So anyway, we got ourselves our huge ocean world here, and it's going to be pretty idyllic, I guess, or something like that, I don't know. And we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves that atmospheric anomaly here. Make sure that it is in fact a, well, it is an anomaly or whatever. And we've got rich soil on this planet here, which is plus 3 food. Really nice anomaly to have on this type of planet here. It's going to make it so that our early colony is going to grow very, very quickly. And I'm actually going to go ahead and send out my scout to scout rather than having him stick around on planet. So now that we've got this, we're going to go ahead and set up our governor. This is going to increase our production value there. And we're going to change our type of scout design here. And we're going to remove these 2 things, and we're going to go ahead and have a double engine, double scout probe type of scout here. And you can do other variations of it, but this is the one that I tend to go with this faction here. It's a little bit cheap, it's pretty fast, it's pretty capable, it's going to be able to sort of go through a lot of scouting really, really quickly, and I happen to like this design quite a bit. So let's take a look at the faction though, and their specifics here. So we've got the Vultures. We know the population bonuses there are plus 1 science and plus 25 to ground combat battle stuff. They've got metafolding. This is the ability to build portals on each of their cities. The portal provides a tiny bit of science, but also lets you just warp ships between your colonies. Very, very powerful ability. I would always recommend using this just very aggressively because it lets you sort of defend your empire very, very effectively. So anyway, Sisters of Mercy citizens, these are your secondary citizens. They're a pretty decent way to get extra happiness, especially you can sort of shuttle a whole bunch of them to like planets that have difficulty maintaining happiness. And they'll sort of counteract that a little bit. Involuntary nomads, this is what gives you those bonuses for your Golden Age. We've already sort of looked at that. They're very big bonuses, and your first few colonies are going to speed up tremendously because of it, because you won't be able to get a second colony before that bonus kicks in. Material expertise can use strategic resources for system development upgrades. You should remember this from Endless Legends if you played that before. And we can see what those bonuses are over here. Plus 40 production on system and plus 40 food on system. The reason that this is so powerful is because the titanium is going to be much more consistent than getting jade onyx. And plus 40 food is actually pretty good at counteracting one of the weaker elements of this faction, which is that they're not great at getting food. So you're going to be able to grow your colonies really quickly and get that production bonus. It's sort of like having the best of two really good resources there. So you're definitely going to want to use titanium as your first one pretty much every single time. It's going to help you boost your colonies up quickly so much faster. Hyperium gives you 40 science and 40 dust. You'd think that this would be our first choice because we're going for a science victory. It's not really, because you still want to get those early game colonies, those really weak ones, pushed forward a lot faster, and you do that much better with titanium. Even in this scenario where I've got access to jade onyx, I would rather use the titanium as a resource. It's just that strong. Adamantium is just basically the sort of mid-tier version of titanium. It gives you 3 production, 3 food per population, and antimatter is where it's really at there. Plus 3 science, plus 3 dust per person. This is a very powerful one. And then you got Orichalcix, which is pretty difficult to get, honestly, and Quadronix. It just sort of basically enhances what you've already got already. And then Orichalcix is like a percentile bonus. I find these actually be kind of weak considering how expensive and difficult they are to get. Anyhow, let's go ahead and click on our research here. If we've got this sort of planet that we are looking for, and I would recommend restarting the game until you can get this kind of planet, you're always going to want to go xenolinguistics first, because again, we're starting to pool that titanium a little bit earlier, and that's the one that we really want out of the two of them, and then the Hyperium second. So anyway, that's going to be what our first turn looks like. Now, what is our priority early game here? Well, it's to sort of scout out in our node, our sort of like immediate area, the best, the best planets to sort of inhabit. And realistically speaking, like that's not going to be too difficult to do, but you are really just looking for high quality planets. You're not looking to get the majority of planets under control. Like if I found a system that only had one planet in it and it was kind of crappy or whatever, I wouldn't bother with it. I would just leave it be. And like this is quite unlike other factions where you'd still want to snap those up, since that would sort of allow you to sort of maintain certain routes. This is much more important in my opinion for this faction, because you're going to be able to get just a very small number of colonizations with this faction. I didn't look at all the bonuses. I apologize. I should go back and look at the rest of the bonuses here. So anyway, we've got material expertise, which we looked at there. Corsairs is basically the tech for piracies. So you can start off with your units set as pirates, which are more expensive than normal units, but it can be an interesting way, and it's also how you get colonies when you're sort of doing this the more difficult way. If you're up against a faction that colonizes right beside you, you can set a bunch of scout ships with weapons and stuff like that to pirate stance and stand that on that colony as it's trying to grow, and you'll destroy the colony before it shows up there. And this is a way for you to stomp out all of these little things before the enemy can sort of like roll you over. Black Thumb, minus 15% to food production, and this is why you need titanium to sort of counteract that. It's still pretty lousy, a bonus or a penalty there. That's a pretty harsh one because food's so important. And it does even take away, as far as I can tell, from that titanium bonus there, but it's still better to have that sort of counteracting it a little bit. Core worlds plus 10 happiness on systems while under the colonization threshold, so we want to stay under this number as much as possible there. With this faction, it's a little bit more important for us to build tall than it is to build wide, and I think that this faction is really easily able to get the science victory with just a small number of planets. And you start off with tech, xenobiology, and rare earth foams. You start off as a federation, which does allow you a little bit more over-colonization, or a few more planets before over-colonization, and it's a little bit cheaper to do system development luxury costs, which is pretty nice there. You don't get very many active laws, and dirty hands act as what you're probably going to be aiming for in the early game, if anything. But since we are starting near one of these little guys, I'm going to go ahead and probably want that to be pooled up so I can take them over relatively quickly. So we got our ship over here created. Let's go ahead and create this. Now you'll notice that the colony ship goes on cooldown, and you don't have to rebuild it actually, it's free. But the problem with it is that it does take a while before it comes off cooldown. As you can see, it's still on cooldown right now. And once it's off cooldown, it's still really, it costs more. It costs extra to actually build your sort of, build your colony with it. I'm actually going to look for a planet that I might build colonies. I think this way would be better. Nothing over there. Alright, over here, let's go ahead and grab our drone network cerebral reality. That's a very typical sort of path there. In this case, we go Xeno-Industrial, I think, because we've got plenty of planets that we could colonize here. Learning how to colonize these would be pretty good as well. So that might be something that we do fairly early on. Learning how to do more colonizations is always important with any faction in this game here. Let's go ahead and hit this here. I could go with any of those, but I think we'll definitely want... Argon shielding is probably a good idea here. Gets us access to basic full drive. No, that's not what's important. I forget what's actually unique here about the Vaulters with Argon shielding, if I'm totally honest with you. I think it was the basic full drive, but it... No, that's... Yeah, these look like they're the same for like what you would normally see for these factions, so I'm not entirely sure what's different. Anyway, we want those, we want this, this one goes first actually. And then we want the PEV scale accelerators. Actually no, we'll do it this order. I need to just sort of figure out the timing for things. Alright, first quest here. We're going to pick Sentinels. These are okay. The reason that we always want to pick this one is because we're more interested in getting the Hyperium here. These sort of resources, actually no, because it's not titanium. Either of these would be pretty good, and Seekers happens faster, so I'm not going to probably need either of these, honestly, so I'll just do this because it's a bit faster. Realistically speaking, I would much rather have had the titanium, because you sort of get like a random strategic, but such is life sometimes. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and... Wait, did it say I just found the Hisho? What did I just discover here? Oh, this. Zaturvia. Oh, well, that's an interesting thing to find early on. And it's got a dust nebula on it. This planet here, this would be actually a really good one. Plus 50 dust on system. It's actually quite powerful. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and deal with that. These guys actually are something that I want to get access to quite quickly. Alright, this is all kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and move this guy along. Actually, I think I'll bring this guy around. I'm more interested right now in figuring out where stuff is. So that's what we're going to focus on. We'll go ahead and scan all this, might as well. Not seeing anyone near me here. Destructive Salvager. I don't particularly think that Destructive Salvager is any good, but sometimes it's what you get. Alright. And you can see our Golden Age duration is ticking up here. We can actually also check from our colony ship here how much longer it's going to take before we actually get our colony going. Let's go ahead and get this. Again, if we don't have access to titanium and Hyperion, we go for Resource Scrounger. In this particular case, since we don't have to worry about that, we go for Farming Logistics. This is going to be a decent bonus to us early on. Someone else got 10 curiosities, I don't care. And this guy over here, let's I think we'll throw down a probe this way, and we'll do a search this way. Honestly, I don't... Nope. Alright, that's interesting. I don't really remember what was on this map here. Okay, that planet is way the hell out there. Might be interesting, though. Alright. Looking for runes, of course. Nope. Alright. Huh. I like how a hollow planet is a life form in this game. Anyhow, Yes, these guys over here, I would love to get these guys online. The bonus from these guys is mind over body, plus 10% of food is turned into science on systems, which is very, very powerful. Their population bonus plus 2 food and plus 2 science is also really, really powerful. So this is actually one of those situations where I think it's worth me getting off-world agribusiness pretty soon here. So we'll go ahead and grab that. Now, if I can actually pinch in the what's their names, then we can sort of get a bonus there. We can get a situation where like they can't move out of their home system, which would be really, really rude of me, but also really funny. Yeah, that's all fine. Let's go ahead and do this stuff here. Okay, so doesn't look like I can actually colonize any of this. Didn't I throw a probe this way? Could have sworn I threw a probe this way. All right, let's this is potentially very rude. Alright. I didn't actually search very far, but I just know that if you're playing this on normal, like, if you're up against the Cravers, they would have colonized out to here. If I was in the same branch as them. Because that's sort of how fast they colonize by comparison. The Riftborn will also do that a lot of the time. I think this will actually block me from checking, but... Is this a vine ship? This is a vine ship. This might actually prevent me from being able to actually do anything here. So that must mean this is right bloody beside him, though. Titanium enhancers. Huh. Is it a quest here or something? I don't know. Smart T repair bots. Those are actually pretty powerful if I recall correctly. Alright, Lupus, I think we can start scanning that down next turn. That should be all of them. I'm only stopping here because we've like hit a dead end on Lupus over here, which is kind of a shame. Oh no, I still can't finish all these. Just this place has a lot to look at. Transvine. Well, either way, let's go ahead and investigate here. More Jade Onyx. Fantastic. Where we are, apparently there is just unlimited amounts of Jade Onyx. Nope, I can colonize. Perfect. Up yours. Now, I think he's still able to surround this in his whatever it is, but I'm not going to worry about that or think about it too hard. And just go for those sort of usual things. And let's check this way. Yeah, I think he's going to continue vining it. Nope, he's forced to quit. Alright, Edisur. Oops, I hit end turn. That was stupid of me. Alright. Oh, I know why. It's because I instantly fully did it. Alright. Basic plasmoid shielding. Alright, we're not getting really weapons or anything, but we are getting some stuff here. He's probably not very far away from here. Like, the Unfallen just are screwed in this game. Like, I don't know what they were thinking when they balanced them. Not like this game in particular, I mean just Endless Legend, they're just useless. Alright, anyway. Over here, we're doing okay. We've got the ability to start colonizing these guys over here. Could go ahead and grab another scout ship here. It's a bit slow. I'm going to ignore that for the time being. Now, I would love spending a bunch of diplomatic capital talking to the people in Miker, whatever the hell. You guys are up to amicable. We're going to continue improving our image here. I would love to talk down to those guys too, but I do need to figure out what's going on down here. Alright, so Arctic snow, large Arctic, blah blah blah. Alright. Ooh, we have really screwed them. Oh, we have super screwed them. Okay, so this is their homeworld. So they can't do anything. So the Unfallen are now out of the game, which is nice, I guess. It's not nice for them, but... Alright, so we can get a good bonus from interplanetary transport networks, given the circumstances, just because everyone's sort of on this world here with these two things here. So what we'll get is +4 per person per deposit. Or not per deposit, but per. So like this would be another 20 production here, which is pretty good. Right. I think we can do this one more time, and then we'll be able to sort of just suck them into our gaping maw here. Alright, got that. Now, in this situation, what we want to do is not worry about getting our minor factions on our side super fast. We want it relatively quickly, but we're not worried about getting it like immediately. The reason being that the minor factions do increase the cost of our colonization. Like, colonization just checks how many systems you have under your control. It doesn't really care how you got them. So in this particular case, like, we would get Kurha under our control and our colonies would spike up in cost. So it's a little bit dangerous trying to go for your colonies too quickly here. Now, one of the other reasons that I went for this one is that this is a 4-planet system, and it sort of lets me not have to worry about these like 2-planet systems or anything like that. Let's go ahead and send this guy down here, actually. I hate how that doesn't work until like I click off of it and then click onto it again. It's quite often the case that happens that way. It doesn't always happen that way, but it does quite often happen that way. Alright. Rigashi is also like a 5-planet system as well, so like those sorts of systems are just always going to be a little bit stronger. Over here, I'm just going to grab machine bacteria, even though I don't really want it, and then we'll be able to get evaporation inhibitors, graviton research, hardship bonus incentives, stuff like this. We probably don't want to get all these right now, just they're a little bit too expensive science-wise, and I should probably worry about getting some other stuff. Something really important is actually multi-thread management. Actually, what I should be doing right now is going multi-thread management, X-atmospheric. The reason that I want to get these, of course, is to unlock this. I'm going to have enough titanium eventually for that to be worthwhile, by which I mean pretty soon. Alright, minor factions can now do hacking, and that sucks because now they're going to stop me from hacking. Alright, and just sort of re-explore my way upwards, I guess. Hopefully we discover hidden nodes. Nope. A positron, that kind of sucks, actually. I'm just actually going to delete this for the dust. Because it's such a weak ship that it's not worth having. Ooh, this place has some exploration stuff. I'm also going to colonize that, because that is juicy looking. Probably better than Virgo. Well, by which I mean definitely better than Virgo. Alright, Petrovivka over here. We're going to continue getting farming logistics. Just make that... this is a planet that's just really sort of good at that. This planet's huge, so I can wait a little bit longer, but now that we've got nothing left, let's go ahead and colonize over here. And I would love to get this guy out, actually, but I think colonizing a planet is going to be a little bit better because we're gaining population so quickly. Alright. And that'll just get us a little bit more population, have our people moving around from... Actually, I can swing back with this guy and just check over here. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's not worry about getting this right now. Because I feel like this is the entire node. Yeah, it is. Okay. And our colony ship over here, we can take a look at the cost here. 1,987 dust, 23 titanium, and Hyperium. So, definitely not happening. Suffice it to say, basically. We might unlock some more titanium, but I don't have these planets colonized anyway, so it's going to take a little bit longer than that. Zeturbia is also somewhere that's got some of that going on. I don't think I reach there this turn. I don't think I even... I do next turn, though. Okay. Okay, this place is excellent, actually. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see here. We're probably going to start off on the... jungle world, because it's what's colonizable. Actually, the snow planet is a little bit larger. Dense atmosphere, bonus food. Psychoactive air is actually positive for us. And Eden incense. This is actually a pretty good planet, so we'll wait till we can colonize that. We'll still check out this stuff. Be a little while before we can check out the rest of this. More titanium. Alright, a lot of dense atmospheres. Interesting. Alright. Let's go ahead and hit end turn here. Looping back around after forever and a day to our home world. To actually check out what we've got. Alright, this is probably the last time we need to check out Kurha. So let's go ahead and start hacking down here. It's going to take a little bit longer, but that should be fine. And Garden of Eden. Okay. Adamantium. Wow. I don't care about the quest marker all that much. Right, whatever. Not getting any bonus from these guys yet, but I don't think that matters. It's really hard for the Unfallen to actually make friends with anybody. Alright, tech screen here. So we got that bonus, we got those bonus, and we have level 2 of here, so that's actually all really good. Go ahead and grab the evaporation inhibitors now, since I don't really have, well, probably should actually get efficient shielding at some point in time. So we'll grab that, and we'll grab universal conscription, autonomous construction, Telex plasma, just the very, very basic stuff there. Now, this lets us go ahead and go in here, pop in wherever, this one, and select titanium as our chosen resource, and not be able to do it because it is a little bit too expensive at this point in time. But like I said, you know, something that we definitely are going to want to have access to. We could actually put away our colonization efforts until we've got, like, enough to do both a colonization and to upgrade the colony, because that's actually really, really a great way to kickstart our colonization efforts, but not going to worry about that for now. Our Garden of Eden planet over here is going to help out a ton. Let's go ahead and grab the filter barges potentially. No, it's a little bit too expensive right now. Public-private. We do definitely want to have access to the filter barges. It's just that they cost a lot to build, so you know, the time when you want to build them is going to be pretty variable. Alright, and over here on this little desert planet, we got a signal. Apparently there's a prowler there. Fantastic. It's going to try and kill our ship, and I'll probably have to retreat. Or they'll just let me leave. Okay. Well, we're going to slowly get killed by a prowler, but shouldn't matter that much in this case. 1,500. Okay. Now we have actually got the ability to colonize right now. Oh no, not yet. Could have sworn, did I not buy colonize? Oh no, I bought buyout. I was supposed to get galactic commodities. Well, I do need actually all 3 of those. Well, you know what? I'm going to grab this earlier, actually. This looks fine. Alright. As our science increases, it becomes a bit faster to do this sort of thing anyway. Alright. Success, plus 10 dust. The guy's flown off somewhere. Fantastic. You know, despite the fact that I've got that, I'm actually going to head this guy over this way. I'm just going to talk to these guys here and make it so that they like me more. Sort of prioritize that over whatever else. Probably more Eden incense over here. Yep. Which is a good planetary bonus. It's just not a very good resource bonus, luxury bonus. Alright. You'll notice that I'm still not doing this by passing any more laws. And the reason for that is, again, we're focused on being able to assimilate these guys. I'm going to do it after we've colonized. I might even try and go for like a one-turn double colonization pull here, because that would actually be pretty pretty potent. Oh, looks like I've got enough for this now. It would be a pretty big boost here, but I think for now we ignore that. I do need portals. I think we'll get that down here in Zoo. And over here I can colonize so soon. And up here, let's go ahead and grab portals so that I can get everybody to sort of shuffle around a little bit more easily. It helps us defend ourselves way, way better. We've got tons of scientists, so I'm going to go ecologists as our secondary. The reason for that is that there are some powerful laws. Green fertility bill is actually quite good for us under the circumstance, because we have got a decent number of anomalies. Definitely want less happiness as compared to less production, because production is really important early game, and we're relatively happy right now anyway. So anyway, I'm going to skip forward a little bit here until we've gotten maybe a couple more colonies, but in the meantime, yeah, this is really what we're focusing on. We're just trying to find the best spots for colonization, the best planets that we can find in this particular case, and the ones that most screw over our enemies sometimes. Sometimes that's going to be the case, sometimes it won't be the case, but that's really what we're sort of after here. So in any event, I will be back in just a little bit. Alright, and we are back. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys how to do a thing. Hopefully it works. Anyhow, we have to decide what we think are the more important resources, and in this case, I think the most important ones are our titanium hyperium. So we're going to go ahead and colonize over here. And what we're doing is getting a whole bunch of colonies all in one turn. So Turbia 2 is actually better than Psychic-Goja, which is kind of crazy. Psychic-Goja is much better for growth, but this gets us that titanium that we really, really need badly. It's an average deposit, so it's pretty good, and it's also got like Dust Nebula, which is plus 50 dust like right off the bat there, so it's kind of actually still better than this planet, which is, again, crazy. But let's go ahead and grab that, and we don't have enough for level 2, unfortunately, but you know what, that's fine. It gives us some time to get some other stuff here. And yeah, that's one colony. This is going to have gotten up. It was 300 just before I did that. So we're going to assimilate this. And then we are going to do our quest here and assimilate this. So this last one was free, of course, and just gets me the minor civilization, blah, blah, blah. So that was lovely. I'm going to go ahead and merge all these guys up here. I'm actually going to use this shuttle fleet over here on Ari for some stupid quest thing that the game is telling me I apparently have. Very likely I'm going to want to do something down here, because there's a lot of stuff going on down here. Looks like we got Lost Cities artifacts, which I kind of don't care about, and Ionic Crystal, which I do care about. Ionic Crystal is actually a very good resource, so that's nice. Micro over here. Let's go ahead and just grab a drone thing, because that's sort of how you start a city off. Kuraha over here, we're going to go ahead and get a drone thingy, because that is how you start cities off. We might as well get these guys down here as well, I guess, or something like that. I'm actually building a warship up here for some reason. I forget why. There's probably a good reason at some point in time, but I forget what it is. We're going to go ahead and get the Endless Research Park. The AI tends not to go for wonders, no matter what difficulty you're on, really. Partly because it's kind of stupid to go for them, but also because the AI is not necessarily the brightest thing. Alright, and that gets us the ability to move around with this little dude here, I guess. Unfortunately, I can't really modify the Horatio ship, so that kind of sucks. These guys have managed to get a whole colony after all this time. Good for them. Anyhow, atmospheric, that's never a good sign. Alright. In any event there, let's just have our ships running around doing the thing that they're doing. I don't really have to hack anything anymore, I'm just not going to worry about it. Probably use up all our bandwidth on firewalls and stuff like that. I should probably actually firewall some more stuff here, if I'm totally honest with you. Let's go ahead and grab this encryption here and encryption on our homeworld, because it's probably smart. Alright. You should also always like encrypt on places that have like heroes, and I've got a hero on one of those planets and on our capital, so I mean, realistically, I don't think they're actually going to hack all the way at my homeworld, but you never know. Gossamer. Let's go ahead and set to rescue, because this one's worth doing. If your scout ship blows up, just save scum. I don't like RNG-based events. I think you guys know that by now. Alright, so quest. This causes pirates to spawn, who will probably actually still be able to beat up all our ships here. I forget what actually the pirate fleet here is. Oh no, it's just 2 of these guys. Okay, I was like, maybe it's actually like 4 ships. That would really suck. Yeah, our basic shovels here, I don't really care about them, and I can't even do anything but the sort of configuration here. And these guys are sort of like a mix of stuff. They're all over the bloody place with missiles and kinetics, so... Alright, perfect. And now I can get rid of these guys here. Yeah, I don't want those guys. These guys also kind of... whatever. Actually, I'll just let them go here, and then I'll scrap them. I'm starting to build a couple of my own ships here. I've got the ability to finally get the stupid level 1 bonus on my capital, which I probably should have prioritized a little bit, but honestly speaking, I kind of don't really think I had to prioritize it that badly. We're starting to get 6 production of titanium per turn, which is nice. We got a couple plants that have got that, and a plant down here that's also got that. We should probably upgrade that. Let's see here. This is bonus on hot. These guys are on sterile. I don't have a sterile planet yet. Great. Fantastic. Lovely. Looks like I need to inhabit another system here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and grab this interplanetary transport network. I probably need to get a portal soon. Let's get the public-private just for the hell of it. Let's grab the Budokai bunkers. Miners Union. Just anything so I don't have to think about them for a little bit here. Alright, cool. What's over here in Kurha? It's like barren and ice worlds. Fantastic. Well, we're kind of already going for hardship incentives, so got colonize Arctic on the way, and we've got colonize cold on the way, so don't really have to worry about that much. Now, at this point in time, we've gotten our two basics. Optimal Operations Expert is always good on your core planet, and Farming Logistics is always going to be just sort of good, period. At this point in time, we can go ahead and get Geniocrat, which is plus 15% science on system, but what I actually like getting is the Clerical Corrections, plus half to deposit value on resource deposits if you're in Senate, so that's just everywhere, and plus 1 to deposit value on resource deposits in the system. This is actually really quite a decent bonus there. And you don't have to take both of them, because the second one's just plus 5 happiness per luxury deposit on system if you're in the system. It's a pretty bad bonus, the second one. We'll be going ahead and getting Geniocrat next, and then Efficiency Aficionados, because we've got like tons of hot planets here. So that's going to be lovely. These guys are still flying. Over here in Zeturbia, I would kind of actually like to get this planet colonized and then use that for food. I only technically need 1 population here, so that would be good. I kind of actually want to get there done before my capital, but let's actually see what we can get in the market. You'll notice I've actually got quite a lot of money, and that's because I've been selling luxuries. So if we look here, we can sell like our Gossamer or Lost Cities artifacts or whatever. I'm actually going to be keeping the Ionic crystals because we're going to actually use those, even though I was saying that some things we don't need to use. Let's see here, what are these? These guys are worth 51 right now. It's pretty good. These guys are worth 49. These guys are... Let's just sell those. And there's no titanium in the market. Fantastic. Alright, so the fact that we're losing money right now really doesn't matter, because we're sort of going to be coasting along with other things right now. Alright, let's get those Budkai bunkers up. We should be getting ice worlds available to us pretty soon. I don't really need this planet here. I don't think this guy can reach to RFGC 8843. Which is pretty crazy. Like, usually these guys can colonize a little bit of distance across one of these gaps here. I'm not sure he can make it. Oh boy. Gotta love being the AI in this difficulty. Let's actually... I think I see a pirate heading here. I've actually got the cloak action here. I just put a cloak around because I didn't really have any better resources to put on. Probably was something I could have done differently that would have been better, but couldn't think of anything at the time. Alright, Lost Cities artifacts. Cool. Get down to Virgo. Is there a quest down here? Right, this one. Okay, this is where I potentially just blow up my scout ship, which is always fun. Yep. Oh, nope. Rescued. Plus 20% science, which is always a really good bonus. Then we get this little guy here that we can go ahead and just sell because don't really care. What are we going to do with the Vodiani ship? I like Vodiani ships, but obviously not going to help us here. Alright, we got that. Let's go ahead and grab a Cerebral. These guys are pretty useless, honestly, but decent amount of extra science from a system like this, especially. They're just going to have like lots of problems with like happiness later on. Alright. So, Strat Recycler is definitely the better of the two things here. So we'll go ahead and grab that. We can now deploy our colony ship again. Good. This guy, we'll go ahead and level him twice here. I'm just getting Blue Sky Speculator because it's pretty much immediately good science. And the other bonus, like he's not got a very populated system that he's looking after right now. Alright. So that's fine. I just see this pirate ship slowly heading towards us for no good reason, so we'll make sure to kill him. That's all fine, I think. 5 more turns for this guy, 16,000, unfortunately. Now, our colony is going to cost us 82 titanium. Fantastic. This is why getting titanium nodes is so bloody important. Alright, down here... Probably just go for infinite supermarkets. No, they're pretty happy. I don't know if that'll last forever, though. Let's grab infinite supermarkets just for the hell of it. I probably shouldn't be building anything just for the hell of it, honestly, because it does cost money, but... You know, those bonuses do help. Alright, there's that hardship bonuses there. I should probably start working on adaptive bureaucracy, just because we see so many barren planets there. And I should probably get ready to have a military, in all honesty. Alright. These guys are lasers. My ships are medium and beam. And this guy's just mediums. Alright. Get rid of those guys. Don't want them around us anymore. Not friends of ours. Alright. Pre-galactic architecture is just always like a nice little bit of a bonus that you can get in these situations. It's never major. Alright, ruins probably just more end-world artifacts or something like that. Oh, nope, plasmoid shielding. That's different. If I'm getting plasmoid shielding, I might actually want to go for these planets that have antimatter as a higher priority. But this is still sort of what we're after, just finding good places to colonize, ultimately. And yeah, if you can find some good places to colonize, you're going to be in better condition than if you're not. Zoo, we can get some places down, some people down. Del over here, I probably want to start colonizing some of this other stuff here. Still haven't figured out how to colonize steppes worlds, which is probably something I should really have done earlier, but that's fine. Sort of just had like that one planet. It's just like, we will deal with that in a million years or something like that. Alright, modernization over here. Let's figure out what's on that planet. Huh. Kind of got all the like defensive crap instead of weapons. I actually prefer finding weapons though. It's usually a lot stronger, the found weapons. Alright, well, whatever. Let's figure out what we got up here on Esh. This is definitely not a high priority system for us to colonize, but you never know, they might have something really good. Ionic crystal is actually really good. Alright. Double ionic crystal reserves. Okay, that's interesting. Kuraha over here might also have those, though. They tend to be sort of clustered in this game, so... I think we can get away here with going for something like infinite studies. Infinite supermarkets, I mean. Looks like this plant has really bad production. Sim camp could be a good idea for us to actually buy, because that would help us sort of boost our productivity a bit. Yeah, this planet is doomed. Alright. Just let it sort of slowly grow, I guess. Over here in Mira. Could we... Nope, not yet. Okay. Right. Do I care about military right now? Kind of. Yeah, I kind of care about my... let's grab these first. It's like, do I care about not dying? I kind of do, but I kind of don't. Go ahead and grab the green fertility bill. That should actually help us out quite a bit here with some of our problems. Since that's like a whole bunch of bonuses all spread across our empire, it should help a bit. Alright, we got that done. Should probably just get rid of some of these ships here. Got rid of those pirates, I can get rid of these two. Partly because we're also trying to get that quest of like earn enough money to not be complete deadbeats. Oh yeah, we have got some more ionic crystal, which is really, really nice. More calcix, which is also really nice. More ionic crystal. Okay. We might not need to get it from Esh, because in all honesty, it's a really, really crappy system. We're also got Murgashi over here, which is a good system for us to try and get. So, all that considered, probably just don't worry about some of that other stuff there. We might have to go for Oyera, depending on what's over there. How are you doing here? Still need a lot more. Murgashi is definitely a priority. Or not priority, but our next colonization. I'm going to keep on with the ecologist. We have a pacifist, but... Alright. Just want to keep that bonus that we've got 5% to a lot of things going for a little bit longer here. Alright, we got that wonder done. This would probably fix our money problem. The system actually does have the ability to produce quite a lot of money, or a lot of population, so I think we go for that. Yeah, that place is scanned. Let's go down here. At this point in time, I think that we start going for the Geniocrat. No, I'll go for the production. They're both pretty good at this point in time. What you're going to pick is really going to sort of just depend on what you feel like at the time. Alright, what have you got for me? Subterranean. Quadranix. That potentially is worth going for. I don't usually build very much stuff out of Quadranix, though, in this game, if I'm totally honest with you. It's just not usually that worth it. Alright, and yeah, our production of food here is already pretty good. Let's just go ahead and skip that. Now, getting the food production building tech is actually something that you would want to consider with this faction, I think, quite often. We are getting a decent chunk of food out of one of our other bonuses, but that's not going to last forever when we start colonizing some of these more fringe planets here. Yeah, 48. We're earning 9.5, which is pretty good. Down here, I might as well just grab the last colony. That'll get me 10 more science, 10 more industry, even though it's not really a great amount of anything. It's worth it. This arid world here has got these resources here, so we'll go ahead and grab it. I kind of actually want to just go ahead and hit the buyout button for this colony. Let's see. Ooh, let's actually do this first. Yeah, I think that provides us with the best bonus there. Alright, and that sort of kicks away our ability to colonize very quickly in Murgashi, but I'm kind of okay with that. We're getting adamantium from here as well, but ooh, +2 resource production, absolutely. So that's kicked it up to +15. So I think it's per deposit. Let's figure out what the hell this is. Pretty much nothing. Fantastic. I was hoping that would be like, you know, literally anything other than nothing. I guess actually not literally, because there could be a negative thing. Anyhow, hot planet over here. Industrial zones benefit from hot. It's worthwhile there, and these guys all benefit from exoscience. And I could also terraform these planets here, but honestly not that interested. The snow planet over here we could colonize. I probably should learn how to colonize steppes worlds now. Since they're a little bit better than some of the other worlds I'm trying to colonize, I might as well. If I'm totally honest with you here. I kind of feel like rushing this, but it seems like a really stupid idea. Alright. And again, we're not really that worried about that. Now, you'll notice I'm not really worried about exploring the rest of the universe. I'm not even throwing up probes or anything like that, and that's because we've sort of got a comfortable number of planets over here. We're actually at 6 out of 7 colonies, and we're going to be getting our 7th one in relatively soon-ish. We're going to want techs, of course, to increase the number of colonies that we're allowed to have. Alright, we got that done. So we now have the Strat Recycler, +1 titanium and Hyperion per destroyed enemy ship there, per command point, rather, which is a pretty neat bonus, in all honesty. It can help out quite a bit if you've got like not enough resources there, but not a ton. It's not a humongous help there. Alright, what have we got over here? This system is so shit. It's Quadranix, but it's on a really crappy system. Arctic, gas, cold, and barren. These are not good systems for Quadranix. It's possible that we just ignore those right now. Do I want to scan this and potentially help these guys out here? These guys are so screwed that I don't think it matters if I do this and help them out a tiny bit. Like, they're on the one plant challenge, basically. Or Calcix. Alright, cool. I'm just gonna delete this thing. And yeah, I kind of want to wait a little bit longer for a slightly longer golden age. Alright, cool. Let's grab hyper packs. Let's grab maximize exploitation. Just get it so I can colonize everything so I can stop worrying about it. Alright, some more levels. Good. Good. And you... I like how this guy's a pacifist and he's just menacingly wielding an axe for some reason. Alright. Down here. Got all 4 planets colonized, so predictive logistics becomes fairly powerful. Have got enough titanium now that I could actually get some interesting stuff. Del down here. Again, we've got a decent number of planets, so predictable logistics becomes quite strong. We want to move all of these Harsham, I think, yeah, onto the sterile planets, since we've only got the one sterile planet. We want all the Horatios on hot planets. So I think we do it like this, and we can colonize the Steppes world now. We'll do the predictive logistics first, and then the Steppes colony. Also want a portal. Alright, cool. So anyway, that's going to be our look at the early game. This is sort of what you're looking to establish in the early game here. You're probably not going to be able to do this. There's only a few factions you can do this to, honestly. But it is really hilarious when you manage to get it done. So yeah, we're looking to find ourselves a nice position where we can quickly colonize. We're not looking to cause any trouble. We're not looking to meet new people, make friends or anything like that. If you're up against the Cravers, you're going to be in a much, much rougher starting position, and it's going to be a lot slower going to get into this sort of state. That was sort of one of the risks I had going into this game, is that I spawned next to the Cravers. If you're up against the Riftborn or something like that, you're going to need to be a lot more diplomatic about things. They could just roll over your face or colonize all your stuff, but you can use your piracy to your advantage in this particular case. You can see this here. If you set this to your piracy thing, you're going to be able to just sort of stomp all over their colonies and prevent them from getting those key places. Like if I had some Riftborn over here trying to colonize Murgashi, I could just build a quick little fleet of just scout ships or of basic warships, turn them into piracy, and move them over here. If you're against real people, this is obviously not going to work. They're going to notice those are clearly Vulture ships. So like that only works against the AI, because the AI is what's dumb enough to fall for that. So anyway, that's going to be our guide to the early game for the Vultures. Hope you found this episode enjoyable, and of course, as always, hope to see you guys all next time.